country of South Carolina, and so I know the quality of life that we all enjoy here. My professional experience includes over 16 years in the grocery business with both Winn-Dixie and Piggly Wiggly. My last assignment was in Hilton Head, where I oversaw over 200 employees and annual sales of over $20 million, which is roughly equivalent to the budget of the town of Somerville. My friends and neighbors came and asked me to run, and one thing that kept coming out over and over was that we needed a different perspective in town council. Currently, there was no one under the age of 50 serving on town council. I'm 33 years old and believe that we need a different perspective. Despite my youth, I have had multitudes of business experience. The most important thing for me is that we need to re-examine our tax and fee structure to encourage economic development and growth in the area. Without proper commercial and economic growth, the burdens will continue to be placed on the homeowners and will not be able to support our schools and our town. My plan for a better path forward consists of 3 key points: economic development, ethics, and fiscal controls, proper financial controls. First, on economic development, we not only need someone who can go around and talk to businesses, but someone who will support the policies that will encourage commercial and economic development that will lead to job growth. My business experience, where I've managed budgets, balanced budgets, managed people, and negotiated contracts, will play a key role in achieving that vision for our town. On the field of ethics, one of my key responsibilities when I was in Hilton Head was beer and wine purchasing. That job made a lot of ethical concerns. I was offered many things many times, and instead of benefiting for myself, I chose to take the deals that would benefit my shareholders and my guests best. It has been engraved that while it may have been legal to take those incentives, it was not ethical, and I've been ingrained since birth to avoid any ethical conflicts. And finally, is proper financial controls. Nothing disturbs me more than to know that we've just recently had tens of thousands of dollars stolen from town coffers. No one was fired over that incident. It's obvious that 8-year-olds selling Girl Scout cookies had more financial controls than the Parks and Recreation Department when people were simply leaving an envelope of cash on a desk at night.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons.
Thank you very much.
And you can stay at the podium. You get the first question tonight. The County Council is negotiating the purchase of a 332-acre tract of land known as Pine Trace for public use. This tract is within the town of Somerville. As a town councilman, what do you see as your role in this development?
The biggest thing is that we cannot be an obstacle to the plan that they have for Pine Trace. It's a wonderful plan. It will give an opportunity for a much-needed school in the area and much-needed recreation facilities in the area. The other good thing about this property is it will not take any additional property off the tax rolls in the town of Somerville since it's currently owned by the state. So there are also even possibilities where some pieces of this could be sold off and it would reduce the tax burden on the area. So I fully support the Pine Trace project, the Jay Byers proposal for the Pine Trace project.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson?
Yes, sir. The Pine Trace property, as you all know, when I fought to have the property denied and was at first successful and then failed, was a vision of mine to use it for recreation in the town. And that was 3 years ago. And I think it is cost effective for the county to do this, and I'll tell you why. If we put 900 homes on that property with a school, which is already approved, they need no further improvement. If the county does not move forward, the developer can buy it and do it. There's nothing we can do to stop that. If we put the recreational on it, you have a school that's there that is going to decrease the student density for the entire county, because the children from the bridges can go there instead of it only being used to support the 900 homes. In addition, the soccer fields may be moved from the YMCA fields onto this property, which would allow a second school on the YMCA property. So instead of 900 homes and the additional cost of a school to the county, which would benefit nobody, we end up with 2 schools and a recreation area that would include would help the economic development in the area. And I also propose an athletic alliance between the town of Somerville and Gahagan, the county and Pine Trace, and North Charleston in their new baseball park that's going in on Dorchester Road, so we can all schedule and work together for the greatest maximum economic benefit.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. You can stay at the podium. After that softball you got on question number 1, here comes number 2. It is not quite so easy. Do you support the completion of the Berlin G. Myers Parkway, and why or why not?
I do, but it actually depends. So many things have happened that I think maybe that could be bypassed with Bacon's Bridge Road, and we can actually alleviate the traffic that way. With the way things have been developing, I don't know if it's actually necessary. And I guess that's really all I've got to say about it. It really depends on what develops in the future.
Mr. Simmons, would you like me to reread the question?
Nothing. I do support the completion of the Berlin G. Myers Parkway. There's currently quite a few commercial projects that have been held up because of the Berlin, that are ready to go while waiting on the Berlin G. Myers Parkway. The only thing that is holding it up right now is we're missing a permit from the Corps of Engineers. So I do support the completion of the Berlin G. Myers Parkway, and I think it would do a lot to relieve traffic congestion there.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. You can stay at the podium. What is your position on growing the town by annexation?
I believe that it is necessary to grow the town by annexation with the very aggressive policies in North Charleston. I think it's the only way that we can protect our tax base. Otherwise, we're going to be boxed in, and if we do not annex, we're going to get swallowed up by North Charleston, and a lot of our potential tax base is going to go away.
Mr. Jackson, same question.
Yes, I support annexation. I've worked for annexation. I actually had petitions possibly being begun in Walnut Farms to bring that in, to try to create a line along the river to keep North Charleston out. When we say we're going to move across the river, we really need to think about that. One, North Charleston is blocked from moving this way on this side of the river. Once we cross the river, that adds another complexity of providing fire and police across the river. And I think we really need to think about, as a council, and have a whole plan as to whether we want to do that or not. I do support moving out towards Ridgeville, up along 26 in Berkeley County.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. And the next question is yours. Where do you stand on the need for a civic performing arts center for Somerville?
I support the Civic Arts Center in Somerville. I think it's been needed since the beginning. I talked about it when I was elected, and it has been planned. The Chamber of Commerce has nowhere to have large functions. The town weddings and things like that have nowhere to have a function. We can put a business center in there. We can put training in the center that will help train our unemployed and people that want to change jobs to do things. We can put facilities in there for small businesses in town that can't afford those by themselves, but could come rent it for an hour or two. When I did this, back in 2008, there was an article written, Castle Keepers.
That was about when the mayor was elected the first time, wasn't it?
When I was working with Brian Castle, and I've worked with some of the mayors-elect on this, and I think it's something that is really needed downtown. We need to revitalize downtown, and the way they're going to do that is through the arts and the specialty shops that have already been growing downtown. And we need to enhance and encourage that. We had a large group that wanted to have a state conference in Charleston in Somerville in 2012. And the Civic Center was key to that. And they needed to know that we would be able to do that. We couldn't make that commitment. So yes, I think it will bring a lot of life downtown. I think it will bring a lot of business downtown, and it will allow downtown to keep that hometown feel.